Hello guys, welcome back. This video is about Auto-GPT. They have claimed that it is an experimental open source attempt to make GPT-4 fully autonomous. So in this video, I will show you how you can run this locally on your computer. And second, I will also show you how you can run this in Google Colab. And at last, I will show you how much does it cost to run this for a couple of hours, at least for me. Let's get started. If you scroll a little bit down in the GitHub page, it says what is it, right? It's Autonomous GPT-4 experiment. So they have provided also the demo as of 30 March 2023. And if you scroll a little bit down, here is some of the features it has. It says it can access the internet for sources and information gathering, long-term and short-term memory management. So they have actually the local cache, pinecone and Redis supported as of today. So I'm going to show you how you can store the memory in pinecone, and GPT-4 instances for text generation, access to popular website and platforms, file storage and summarization with GPT 3.5. So this is the features that it provides. But before getting started, there are some requirements. If you run it locally, there must be at least Python 3.8 or latest version. You should have an OpenAI API key and then pinecone API key if you want to use the pinecone memory. And then there is an elevenlabs key if you want to have the AI to speak. I will also show you how we can enable the AI to speak. That's actually really cool. Let's first make sure that we have Python installed in our system, right? So for that, we can just type Python 3-- version. Then we have 3.9.16, meaning that we have greater than 3.8. So we are good to go. And then if you go to the GitHub page, it says git clone. So we need to copy this command, go back to the terminal, and then Ctrl+V paste it. So if you run this, it says destination path already exists because I have already cloned this repository. So then what you need to do is you need to go inside the Git repository. You need to just do cd Auto-GPT. It is also mentioned here. So you need to go to cd Auto-GPT. And then you need to install all the requirements of the dependencies. But before doing this, what I recommend you to do is create a virtual environment. So the package that you install are isolated from other packages that you have installed in your laptop or in your computer. For that, you can just use virtual env Python package, and there is the .venv name. If you don't know what is virtual environment and how to create, I have already created a video in my channel. Please refer to that. I can activate it using source.venv bin activate. So now the virtual environment is being activated, and you can see here AutoGPT. So it shows that it is being activated, but for you, you might see something in front of the terminal saying in the brackets .venv. After this, you can install the packages. For installing, you can just do now pip install requirements.txt. I have already done it, so it says requirement already satisfied. But for you, all the packages will be installed after you run this command. So now the next step is to follow this step 4, renaming the .env template to env, and fill in your OpenAI API key and also the elevenlabs if you want to have the AI to speak, and as well as the pinecone. I actually opened this in VS Code already. You can open any code editor you want. Here you see that we need to first rename the .env. I have already renamed this. So it will be .env.template, rename this to .env, and then I have already imported, or I have already pasted the environment variables here, but I will show you from where you can get the environment variables. First thing first, let's go with the pinecone. For pinecone, if you go back to the website, they have provided the link. If you scroll a little bit down, here they have said that you need to go for the pinecone to app.pinecone.io. I'm already in the app.pinecone.io and already created account for me. You can just follow what it is mentioned here. Go to this and make account if you don't have already. Choose the starter plan to avoid being charged. and you can have just one of the indexes. Here, create your index. We don't need to create it because AutoGPT is going to create it for us. But what we need from here is the API keys, right? This is the API key. You can just copy from here. I have already done it, as you can see here. This is the API key. And the pinecone ENV. This is the pinecone ENV Asia Southeast 1 GCP. Just copy this and paste it in your VS Code. Now the next is OpenAI and the elevenlabs. For that, again, if you go to the GitHub page, now if you scroll a little bit up where it says here, obtain your OpenAI API key from this platform. You can just right click and open this in a new tab. I have already logged into the system, but for you need to create the account if you don't have already. I have already pasted my OpenAI API key. And the next one, you need to go to the Google Chrome again in the GitHub page, and there is this elevenlabs.io. Right click on this and open it in a new tab. I have already created the account. For you need to create an account, and if you go to your name here and go to the profile, here is the API key. If you just click this eye icon, it will show the API key. Copy this for now, and then you need to go back to your VS Code and paste it here. So that's all. And this all we can just leave as it is for now. We don't need to do anything. You can just do Ctrl yes to save this. Now we can actually run the app. Let's make this bigger. And then here you can just type Python and then scripts main.py GPT-3 only, because I don't have GPT-4 SS. I am just going with the GPT 3.5. So if you actually run this command, it will start the app. If you just run enter, it should show you enabled. Okay, GPT 3.5 only mode enabled. Would you like me to return to be a movie GPT? From where does this movie GPT comes? Here is two things to remember. One, if I do N here, it says continue, no, then it will ask me to welcome to AutoGPT. Enter the name of your AI and its role below. Entering nothing will load defaults. All the things that have been mentioned here are the default ones because I have already updated my values there. One thing to notice is you can do from the terminal, but what I find easier is to go to the page. If I make this little bit small, you see here that AI settings.ml file. If you click this, here there will be the default when you clone the repository. Here you can make your own preferences. Here I have made my AI goals. Take the following as first 3 movies input: Avengers, Iron Man and Aquaman. I want you to recommend next movie to watch based on these movies and sort down. The sort down, you don't actually need to provide this. I can just delete. This is just for the continuous mode. I will show you what that continuous mode is. And I gave the name AI name movie GPT. That is the reason it is showing here movie GPT. And the role for the AI is act as an helpful AI assistant for movie recommendation. You can put here whatever you want and just save this. Once that is done, and I can just cancel Ctrl C, and then if you again run this command, it will start running for you. But for me, I will show you how you can do this with the speak mode. So if you are using GPT-4, you don't need to provide this GPT-3 only. You can just provide Python script main.py as it is mentioned in the Git page here. If you go here, it just says Python scripts main.py. But if you want to provide the speak feature, as it says here, speak mode, so use this to use the TTS for AutoGPT. You can provide -- speak. What you can do now to enable the speak mode, you can just type Python scripts main.py -- GPT-3 only and -- speak. And if you click enter here, now if you listen.
Welcome back. Would you like me to return to being movie GP?
So it is speaking to us. So I can say Y. So to say continue. So it will use the memory cache as local cache. Let me cancel this for now, just to show you that I am actually, okay, it's actually showing something. You see that the AI is speaking now. But one thing here, what I noticed is I tried to use the pinecone memory, but it is still showing here the local cache, right? So one thing what you need to provide in the ENV, what I figured out is here you need to provide the memory backend as pinecone. So now I will type memory backend and then you need to provide pinecone and you need to save this. Let me cancel and come back to you again. Control C. And now if I clear the screen and if I run this again, let's use this. It will speak, of course.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Would you like me to return to being movie GP?
Yes, I will type Y. And now it will take some time because it needs to create the index in the pinecone and it will be using that pinecone as our memory instead of the local cache. So that is the difference. And I noticed this only, that memory cache back in pinecone. I just went to GitHub and in the issues of GitHub, if you see, go to GitHub here, I went to this page and someone here mentioned that we need to provide the memory cache as pinecone. I went to the code and here it says that it is first looking to the local cache, it is going to the Redis and then only going to the pinecone memory. So if you see, there is a function called get memory pinecone, but we haven't provided the memory backend as pinecone. Now once I put this memory backend as pinecone, I can run the command again saying that python scripts main.py GPT-3 only and speak.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Would you like me to return to being movie GP?
Yes, I will type Y, enter. Okay, it is taking now, if you see here, memory, using memory of pinecone memory. Before it was using the local cache. This is what you need to take into account because I see most of the people haven't mentioned this and they are using the local cache.
Popular movie websites to see what new releases are out or have high ratings. IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes are good places to start.
So you see, it is saying something and it is taking input from us. Okay, enter Y to authorize command. So I can say Y and then it will start going and analyzing. So here it says command authorized by the user. Text length is 3474 and characters, and it is going and summarizing the chunk 1, chunk 2. It is still thinking here. Yeah, it takes some time that it loads and find the summary. Okay, now it's
and browsing most popular movies on IMDb to get a list of highly rated movies. This can help narrow down the movie recommendations and increase the chance that the user will enjoy the next movie. I can then provide a short list of movies that are similar to the movies they have provided.
I can just say Y to continue, as you can see here. I will just provide Y and the command authorized by the user, and the text length is, again, it is going and taking some of the characters and summarizing each of the chunks, and then there will be some output. So it says the system is saying something here and it's still thinking. Here you said that the command browse website returned, website content summary result. The text provides a list of popular, upcoming and unreleased movies ranked by various factors, and so on. Now I should
recommend looking through the list of most popular movies on IMDb and select movies that are similar in genre or plot to the user's previously listed movie preferences using your judgment.
Okay, so but now here you see that there is a system. There is a movie GPT thoughts. It is giving the thoughts and it is what it is saying here. And then there is the reasoning also, that browsing through the most popular movies gives us an idea of the movies and so on. And there is the plan what to do next. So look through the list of popular movies in IMDb, select movies from this list based on the similarity and so on. And the criticism is the final list of the movie recommendations may not suit the user's taste if there is not enough overlap between the user's previously listed movie preferences. There is also some criticism. And then it says next action is command do nothing. I don't know why it's saying do nothing, but I actually want it to continue still. I want it to recommend me the movie. It says command do nothing, return no action performed. But let's see what it goes through. I think it is confused somehow that it needs to provide me the recommendation. Okay, here. Yeah, now it
suggest using GPT-3 to generate a few movie recommendations based on the user's previously listed movie preferences.
Yeah, okay. I can still say yes.
Movie recommendations here. Reporting for duty.
You see? The two of the...
Movie recommendations. Your task is as follows. Generate movie recommendations using GPT-3.
You see that two of the AI starts talking to each other, giving commands. And then it is saying, okay, I need to sort something and give recommendations for me. So this is really cool that two AI is having a conversation.
Listed movie preferences of Avengers, Iron Man, and Aquaman. Here are some movie recommendations. 1. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
14. A group of intergalactic misfits come together to save the galaxy from...
So it is giving me the recommendations of Guardians of the Galaxy and also explaining what is in that movie.
Superhero Wonder Woman and must use her powers to stop a war. 3. Thor Ragnarok 2017.
So you see, it is providing me many recommendations for me and it is just reading what is mentioned actually here and so on. Providing me like 5 different movies to watch based on what I provided before. You get the idea how it is going through. And if I still continue, there is the command actually here. It says that next action is browse website. Arguments is it's going through the imdb.com website. And the question is summarize and rating of a Black Panther. So if I start continue or why, it will go through and then summarize and ratings of Black Panther is being generated here. So you get the idea how it provides me the information automatically. But I need to provide why here, right? But there is also a next mode where you can just provide continuous. So this will go continuously until it finds the movie for me and it sort down automatically. I don't recommend you doing that because it may cost some amount of money for that because you don't know how much it is going to sort. But if I just cancel this with Ctrl C, how you can achieve that is instead of this GPT, let me first clear the screen so you see clearly here. What I can do here is I can just go here and then just type continuous. If I type this continuous, then it will continuously go and fetch all the information for me. After you run all of this, now you want to see what is being uploaded in Pinecone, right? So if you just refresh the page in the Pinecone, you will see that there will be a new index being created for you, that is AutoGPT. And you can see here that the dimensions is 1536 and ports for replica is 1 and all these things. If you click on this one and if you go to this matrix part, you can see here that there are some of the tokens. There are 4 tokens vector count. So if you see here, there is this 4 vector count. If you do more, it will be stored here more. So here is the latest 10 minutes, it is 4. But if I go to 1 hour, then you can see there are many of those being created. At first, it went to 0 and then at certain times it increases and so on. So this is really good. If I say maybe 1 day and it's 4, you get the idea that all the things that you do, the memory is being stored in the Pinecone. Similar to Pinecone, if you go to the 11labs also, and if you go to this history icon here are all the voices. You can see the name of the voice is Bella, Anthony and all these things. This is the name of the AI voices. And then this is what it is being read to us, right? So I recommend browsing IMDb and all these things. So all the things that you go through the application is being stored either in 11labs for the voice part, and all the history or the memory is being stored in the Pinecone. Now let's see how you can run the AutoGPT in Google Colab. So you don't need to configure anything in your local computer. I have uploaded the file in my GitHub repository. Here it says AutoGPT. So if you just click this AutoGPT, you will get a link here which says open in Colab. So just click the file open in Colab. It is going to be open in Google Colab. You need to have your account in Google. Of course, I hope you have that. But first thing first, what I recommend you to do is go to this file and then save a copy in Drive, or there is already a icon here. It says save a copy in Drive, so that you can actually edit the file, because you cannot edit on top of the file that you just used from my GitHub repository. So once you are here, you can follow all the things that I just mentioned, how you can run this locally. First, you can clone the repository. This runs on CPU. So just to show you, you can just run this git clone, and then it will clone the particular AutoGPT from Git. It is now connecting to the server, and you don't even need GPU for this. So CPU is fine. And now this will be cloned. As you can see here, you can go inside the folder. And once this is done, if you click on this file icon here, and if you refresh this, it's already here, AutoGPT. And all the files are being created here. If you see here, there are all the files. And then you can install all the dependencies with this. And here I have also installed Google Xtom, so that we can have a terminal already in the Google Colab. So it is downloading all the requirements. Here, as you can see here, it is downloading there and all the things. And once that is done, as I said before, what you need to do is this API keys. You need to rename this .env. This is the same thing where you can go and see, get the API keys. But for some reason in Google Colab, I cannot make these 11 API keys working, meaning that I cannot make the AI to speak. But I think if you try something, you can work, or it is not allowed in Google Colab. I'm not sure, but you can go and try it. If you want to open this .env template in Google Colab, it will say that you cannot open this because this is .env. But one good trick that you can do is, let's see what is inside the .env first. You can see that there are all the things that you need to insert, right? Same as what we did in local computer. You can move the file or rename. Move means rename. MV command is rename and move same. But here we just want to rename the .env template to env. And now this is converted to env. If you refresh the page or the folder here, now the .env template is now converted to env. So now you can double click this and it will open here beside here, and you can input all the required API keys here as I did in the local computer. I'm not going to do it here, but you get the idea. Just replace all of this here and save this. You can just do Ctrl S and it will be saved here. And once this is saved, you again go here and then rename that env to env. So if you now go back here, there is the env and now it is converted to .env. You cannot open it now here, but you have all the environment variables being set inside the Google Colab itself. And then the next command is just loading the Xtom. You can just run this command. And as I said before, AI settings.ml file is here. Here, there is the default things. As I said before, AI goals, increase net worth, develop and manage multiple business autonomously and all these things. So this comes by default when you clone the repository. So you can change this whatever you want, as I mentioned before. And once you do this, save the file. And you can even see what is inside the file with cat command. So you will see here the updated one. So update what you want to do. And again, you can see the file. I'm not going to run this. And then you can load the terminal now. If you load the terminal, it is going to open a terminal for us inside the Google Colab. It is loading the terminal and it's inside the AutoGPT folder that we have. So here you can just go here and then just type Python and what was the name, like scripts, SC. And if you wait, I think you can do autocomplete. Yeah, scripts. And then what was the file? The file was main.py. If you just want, just open it here. So this is script. And then inside here, there is this main.py. If you have GPT-4, you can just run this. But if you want to go with GPT-3 only, just type GPT-3 only that we did before. It's little bit slow here. As you can see, it's lagging little bit. But I was not able to use the speak command as I said before. You can just type Python scripts main and then GPT-3 only, and then you can type enter. Once you do this, if I do enter, of course it will show me some errors because I haven't input any of those environment variables, but you get the idea that GPT 3.5 only mode enabled and all these things. But if I do Y, I think it will not work because I haven't provided any environment variables. Of course, you get the error here. So you get the idea. You can just go here and see how it works. As you can see here, it says local cache because, and one good part here is if you don't want any other things like pinecone or elevenlabs or all the things, just input the OpenAI's API key and it will work for you because it will use the local cache. You don't need to worry about this. You don't need to worry about the AI voice because we don't want to use this. It's just the OpenAI API key. So you should be up and running in the Google Colab. Now you might be thinking how much it will cost you because the elevenlabs is free for us. Pinecone also provides us the free access. If you are a new user, OpenAI will give you some free credit. But for me, if you want to know how much I used, because I run for some minutes or some hours today, and yesterday I run for some hours. So let's go to the usage tab here. And if you see here, yesterday I used around 26 cents and I used for around 1 hour or so. For today, it's just showing me like 5 cents. So it's not that expensive, but still I recommend you, if you go to this billing section and you can set up the payment history and all these things here. And there is this usage limits. Here, I recommend you to set some hard limit so that if you run that in continuous mode also, you don't go above this limit. I have kept the hard limit as $5 and the soft limit is $3. So you can put whatever you want. If you put hard limit $5 and keep it run continuously, you can do that. It's up to you. You get the idea that always go here in OpenAI's place in the usage limit and put the hard limit and soft limit. And then you can of course go and see in the usage tab how much of the resources you have been using. And one more thing is that you go to the API keys, and because I showed you my API keys, right? The thing that you need to also do is always when you expose your API keys, always revoke the key. So nobody else is going to use it because I have tried all of this. I will just remove all of this. This is just a random one being created. I cannot delete this. I haven't used this in anywhere. I will also go to the elevenlabs. If I go to my profile, and I'm going to, so this is my key that I exposed. I'm going to regenerate this, confirm. So now my API key is being reset. So that is how you can reset. And if you also want to go to the pinecone, I haven't shown you the pinecone. Let me go to the API keys. This is the API keys, but here also you can rotate the keys. If you are exposing some API keys, you can rotate it. The good part of rotating keys is that if you somehow expose your key also, no one else is going to use it. Okay, that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new today from this video. If yes, please press the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It will help me grow my channel, and also other people will notice this channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.